Hey everybody, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris if you are new. Spring is here and I'm so excited to finally bring you my top 15 choices for spring. Now, when I look at these, they are mostly floral or musky florals. I did not include any vanillas because I just did 2 videos dedicated to good vanilla perfumes for spring. Now, the one other thing I did want to mention is these are all on the higher side. I will be filming a separate video, affordable perfumes for spring. My box is right down there. I will do that right after this one, so just be aware of that. And with that, I'm going to jump in. Now, to keep this list reasonable, I originally had 25. To keep it reasonable, I limited myself to 1 perfume per house. And with that, I was able to get it down to 15, a manageable number. Now, the first perfume, one of the first perfumes I think of for spring, and it was a fragrance that I wore on St. Patrick's Day. I mean, there was no other choice for me, is Lucky by Christian Dior. A really nice white flower, solar, lily of the valley perfume. It's a little bit dewy. It's very fresh. It has a greenness, but it's not overly screechy and it's not soapy, but it's just a little bit clean. So if you don't like overly green fragrances, this one I think is a very, very easy one to take. I do enjoy green fragrances, but they can't be overly green. And I would prefer them to be clean, but not overly soapy. And that's exactly where this one falls in line. I just love it. And when I wear this, I feel fresh, I feel clean. And I just know spring is in the air because it's one that I only really wear for spring and for summer. The next one is one I also think for spring. This is one that I purchased for myself. This was my birthday gift to myself last year. And this is Creed Windflowers. Now, when I purchased it, it was on the pricey side because it hadn't been around that long. Now I have seen it all sorts of places for a much better price because when it first came out, I will say that I think this was overpriced, even though I do think this is a lovely, lovely fragrance. It's a musky floral perfume with peach and a little bit of sweetness, and that sweetness is coming from praline, and it has been compared to Coco Mademoiselle. I do think they have a lot of similarities. Coco Mademoiselle is a lot sweeter and it has a much heavier patchouli, even though patchouli is not listed in Windflowers. Did I say spring flowers? I meant to say Windflowers. They don't list patchouli, but I can smell it in here, and it's toned down compared to that from Coco Mademoiselle. This has a peach note. This is stronger in the peach department. Coco Mademoiselle has a little bit more rose, and I do think it's a little bit sweeter. And the peach in here is very light and lovely, and it's so pretty, very, very easy to wear for me. Another fragrance that just screams spring to me is by Bond No. 9. This is New York Flowers. This is a sweet, juicy, fruity floral perfume, and this has some sort of wine or champagne, like a fruity wine. I want to say it's Cur, but I do think it's a blackcurrant spirit of sorts, and it has a lot of juicy, I would say orange fruits. I would say orange fruits, like an orange or a nectarine, something along that line, in addition to that sweet, syrupy, black currant liqueur, lots of flowers. I would say like this is just all of the spring flowers. I'm sure jasmine, probably tuberose, probably gardenia, maybe toss in a little bit of lily and rose. It's very, very pretty. It's a beautiful floral melange with a lovely fruity sweetness. And I think it's that nice fruity sweetness that just makes it so springtime. And it's one that you could still wear, or I would wear, when there's still a little bit of chill in the air. So 2 more beautiful floral fragrances for spring. One is, I love to wear this one by Initio when it's not too hot. I think it's great for the transitional weather. This is Psychedelic Love. This is one of Picky Pat's favorite perfumes. It's super interesting. It has a lot of depth. I would say this is a purpley floral perfume with some ylang-ylang and myrrh. It's got some myrrh depth. The purple flower is probably heliotrope because it's very powdery, and I do get a teensy bit of almond. I do also get a very noticeable warmth from myrrh in the background and a beautiful, creamy, powdery, slightly vanillic sandalwood. I don't know if vanilla is listed, but I do get a touch of a sweet, creamy vanillic sandalwood in the base. Very, very pretty, wears lightly, but people will smell you when they get right, in your scent bubble. One of the prettiest musky floral perfumes in my collection. I would dare to say that this is a beautiful floral masterpiece. A lot of fragrances smell similar, but in my opinion, Levant by Ormond Jane is so incredibly beautiful. It just has this beautiful lightness to it. The florals really are the star of the show, but that tangerine, mandarin, something in the background just gives it this wonderful juiciness. It has a beautiful musk, like a gauzy musk, and probably another one with a little bit of sandalwood in the base. This one smells very similar to another perfume I'm about to show. In addition to, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking on the name, Fleur Narcotique, that's it. They're very similar. They're too similar to keep, but in the end, I much preferred Levant over Fleur Narcotique, even though it's just a beautiful, beautiful fragrance, but again, a modern floral masterpiece that just screams spring and summer. Well, I brought it up anyways. I might as well talk about the other perfume that does remind me of Levant, but there are enough differences that I have both. This is Valaya by Parfums de Marly, Quentin Biche creation. This is a musky version of Levant. So it's very floral. It's a floral, molecular, and heavily musky version of Levant. This is one of the prettiest and loudest musks that I own in my collection. It just screams hot weather, even though I definitely could wear it year round. I wore it, I want to say last week, at the beginning of last week, and it was chilly. It started off chilly, and it was just perfect. It was sunny. Oh my gosh, it was just lovely. But this one is a molecular, musky version of that type of Levant DNA. Lots of modern notes in here, lots of molecular notes, but you're going to get that type of a floral, lily of the valley, orange blossom, possibly a little bit of peony, similar citruses. I want to say like peach tangerine. I also think they are a molecular form of that. And just beautiful musk, 10 out of 10 musk, one of the strongest musks in my collection. On me, this thing lasts all day, will last on your clothes forever. And when I look at this, I just think of a wedding scent. If I were to get married right now, this one would be way in the running because it's beautiful. You're just gonna smell ethereal, clean, fresh, nice. You're gonna smell like a beautiful bride. It will last all day. You will not need to touch up, and it just looks like a wedding. It's absolutely lovely. When I think of spring, or when spring rolls around, that's when I really, really, really want to start pulling my Chanels. There's something about those aldehydic, classy, floral perfumes that just make me want to. I could reach for those every day. I narrowed it down to one because Chanel No. 5 Eau Première was my transition to spring. That's a good one to wear in the transitional months, fall and also moving into spring. I don't typically wear that in the summer because it's very powdery and it's sweet and the florals are pretty dense. I prefer something a little bit fresher, like Gabrielle Essence. This is not the original Gabrielle, which just did not go over well with me. The original Gabrielle had something metallic. It was something about the way that the fruits and the florals, I'm assuming, came together. I just got this little metallic taste in my mouth when I smelled it. Gabrielle Essence, I don't get any of that. It's, lots of florals, berries, citruses, very fresh, very chic, very clean, very classy, very put together. A go-to work scent for me. I have to be very, very careful when I spray this. I don't want to overdo it because I really smell this on me all day, man. My scent bubble to myself is strong, and I always worry that it's overpowering to others. So I go light on the trigger, and it's one of my most complimented fragrances. When I wear this, people say, wow, you smell so good. You smell so classy. You smell so put together. Very professional. This is a very good professional scent, and I always want to wear it this time of the year. There's something about spring or when the warm weather rolls around that makes me think of ginger. And I think ginger just adds a freshness, not only to food, but it also a cool freshness, a zinginess, a zippiness to anything. It's added to, and this is Ingenious Ginger, which has a lot of sweet, ambery, candied ginger, and a little bit of patchouli. Some citruses, maybe orange, maybe tangerine. Boy, this is a tangerine video. Some sort of non-specific, fresh, clean citrus. It reminds me of like a warm citrus scone topped with a candied ginger syrup, because as it does start out pretty zippy, pretty zingy, you know, from those citruses, from the ginger, but there's something a little bit sweet and dry in the dry down. Maybe it's cedar, maybe it's sandalwood, but it definitely becomes more dry, slightly more sweet, less ambery, and less fruity in the dry down. So I don't know, the entire wearing experience is something along the lines of a citrus scone with a candied ginger syrup. And I really, really love it. Another one that just screams spring. This will be the third year that I will show you this perfume, and it is Le Papier. This was my Easter scent 2 years in a row. It will not be my Easter scent this year. That one will be featured at the very end of this video. It'll be the last one I show. But Le Papier just screams spring because it has that beautiful, you know, accord of steamed rice, and it's very, very realistic in the beginning. I wish it lasted much longer. I don't even think Fragrantica lists steamed rice as a note or accord on the Fragrantica website, but I can assure you it was the reason why I blind bought this when it first came out, and it is absolutely in here. I think it has a note or accord of sesame, lots of musk, and beautiful, like powdery, slightly honeyed yellow florals from mimosa. Spring in a bottle right here. Love it. Wears lightly. That's why I like to wear it in gatherings when I'm going to be around a lot of people. The next one I'm super excited about is a brand new pickup for me, but it's been on my wish list for years, ever since I did the discovery set. It'll be probably 2 years ago. And I did a review of the entire house from Giardini di Toscana, you know, a year and a half ago, a while ago, and this was on my wish list when I did the discovery set. I tend to like the fragrances that aren't super viral in this line. This one, I love Bianco Oro, but that is not for everybody, but it's a beautiful, it's a peppery, salty, sweet amber with a background of rose. Man, it is stunning and one of the strongest perfumes in my collection. Another one that I really, really enjoy that nobody talks about is Shabby Chic. Let me tell you, this is not just a scent. This is an experience. And I'm going to tell you, when I smell this and when I wear it, this is what I think of. This is, you have decided to go on a vacation by yourself. You're not taking anybody. You want something quiet and relaxing. So you go to this beach cottage. It's somewhere, you know, on the coast. I'm not saying tropical, I'm just saying a beach cottage. It's a non-tropical coast. Okay, we'll put it that way, because there's nothing beachy about this. And you get off the plane, you're jet lagged. You have this cute little cottage, you know, this little cottage room, and it's all in whitewashed. Everything is whitewashed and everything is like cute and shabby chic. And you have to take a bath. That's the first thing I do when I get off the plane. You're jet lagged, you're tired, you feel dirty and filthy, and you get in this bath. So you get in the bath, and they have this homemade soap and maybe these homemade bath salts. They are made by the B&B themselves, so you don't have a brand, and they're just fresh, and they're musky, and they're clean, and they're slightly floral, and you put that in your warm bath, and then it smells so good. I feel like I'm on vacation. I need to go on vacation. And then you get out of the bath, and you put on this big fluffy robe that was just washed, and you sit down next to a table, and they have like this bouquet of roses. And that's what this fragrance is. It's musky, it's clean, it's fresh, it's floral without being overly soapy. It's such a delight, and I can see it not being everybody's cup of tea. I think if you like something like Espiritu, they're not the same fragrance at all. But somehow I get the same experience. This one is a little bit more, it's more musky, it's more floral, it's a little bit more fresh and clean with a little bit of a soapy vibe. But I think if you liked that one, and you like florals, and you can tolerate musk, You might like Shabby Chic as well. I don't know. I really, really do. Another one, well, the only one that is really gourmand in this collection, again, because I already did my 2 vanilla videos, and I'm planning on doing a video, I did it 2 or 3 years ago, called The Smells of Easter. Like, what do you think of perfumes that just smell like Easter, like florals that are blooming, what's in an Easter basket, that kind of thing. I have some lovely fun gourmands that are appropriate for springtime that I will be doing maybe in a week or 2. Let me know down below if you're interested in seeing that type of video. It doesn't get a lot of views, it didn't get a lot of views, but it was really one of the most fun videos I ever did. So even if I get like 17 views, I will plan on doing it. But appropriate for spring is my sweet little Mrs. Rabbit. She's so cute. She is a gourmand for sure. She's sweet, she's ambery, you know, she smells like a carrot cake. To me, this smells like a cross between a carrot cake without the icing and a carrot cake scone, somewhere in there. Zoologists, they always toss in these, these curveballs. I want to say there's hay in here. Not my favorite part. I could do without that, but again, it just adds, to the point of view of my sweet little rabbit. I think there's a grain note. Maybe there's grass, maybe there's clover in here. Something along those lines. So maybe you're eating like, quick battery change because I always talk too much. Like you're eating a light carrot cake that's not overly oily. In between that and, a carrot cake scone. And you're out in the wilderness. You're out in, sitting in some grass. And I get a lot of cinnamon in this for sure. So you have to tolerate cinnamon. That's one of the main spices. I don't get clove, but I do get cinnamon in here. So you are just so perfect for spring. And if I get enough, and if you guys want to see me do the smells of Easter video, let me know down below. Okay, one I've mentioned one prior time, and I will be doing a house overview of the new Coty line. That's going to take a while because there are a lot of fragrances in there, but coming soon to a library near you. The one I'm going to show is Soleil D'Ikosim. And this is so pretty. Encore une fois gets all the attention. And there are so many others in this line that are so beautiful. And I want to bring them to your attention when I do the house overview. But Soleil D'Ikosim is really sweet sunshine in a bottle. It's for, my neroli orange blossom lovers, of whom I'm one. So you do need to like those beautiful white florals, but it has a sweetness, but it's not overly sweet. I don't know how they did it. It's not like a Love Don't Be Shy. That one is actually too sweet for me. The sweetness is very light and it's not marshmallowy. I would say it's more towards the ambery sweetness, but it's a super, super light sweetness. It has this beautiful candied sweetness in the opening, which smooths out a little bit and it has more of a smooth, light lotion quality as this fades, and this makes me so happy. This reminds me of sunshine. This is warm, sweet, white floral sunshine in a bottle, and I will be wearing this spring and summer. Another one that's going to get a lot of wear. I've mentioned it a couple of times because it's just so beautiful. This one was gifted to me. If this was not gifted to me, I can absolutely assure you I would purchase this myself. It's so beautiful. This is the newest one from the House of Beau. This is Ave Maria. Their line is beautiful because they are just quality fragrances. And fortunately, they do come in smaller bottles. This one does as well. And they do carry travel sizes. And I started out sniffing every single one in the line with the travel size, and the travel sizes are really cute and they come in this cute little box. But anyways, Ave Maria, a beautiful dewy white floral is done to perfection, and they are the florals that I love. Another one with neroli, definitely gardenia, lily of the valley for sure. And there's just something about it that's so magical, so dewy. I put this in my angelic fragrances. It reminds me of a water angel. There's something very angelic and beautiful about it. It does have a note of Merlot, and I think I said last time, I drink red wine. It does not smell like Merlot. Merlot's not very sweet, and it's very, very dark. I thought it was more along the lines of like a rosé because it's sparkly, it's bubbly, it's light, and it doesn't have that weight to it. I could definitely see like a sweet rosé mixed with a Merlot, and that's the type of sweetness you get in here. Sweet but not overly sweet, and it doesn't overshadow those beautiful, dewy florals that just scream spring and summer. And the last one I did want to say is the most, I think, unisex, maybe even masculine leaning of the bunch. I feel badly, most of these are definitely, I would say, feminine leaning, and I like to add a lot of unisex fragrances to my videos because I've had a lot of lovely subscribers that are men comment below, and I will not forget about you. Maybe if you want to see me do a dedicated, my spring picks for men or some other dedicated theme that caters to my male subscribers, let me know down below, and if you have any ideas, let me know. But anyways, the most masculine, the most unisex of them all is CÈDRE FIGALIA. I love fig, and fig to me is spring and summer, and this one is a gorgeous fig. This is definitely the most woody fig there is. I have Casseling, let me see, my fig perfumes are Casseling and Parisian musk. This one is definitely the most twiggy, barky green of them all, and it is absolutely stunning. There was one of my first niche fragrances of all time was called Premier Figure by L'Eau de Parfum. I had the EDP, the Eau de Parfum, which was more milky, more creamy, a little bit more sweet, and it had coconut. That one is discontinued. I have finished up my bottle, and I'm thinking about repurchasing or purchasing the Eau de Toilette, which is the only one available. And I think because I have this one, I don't feel the absolute need to rush out and go get it. I might just finish this up. But it's in that ballpark. It's very dry. It's very woody. I would say all parts of the fig are here, but with an emphasis on the fig leaf and maybe the fig, twigs, with the beautiful pulpy part of the fig in the background, because this is a green, brown to green fragrance, not a purple fragrance. It probably has cedar in the base. It probably has sandalwood, something along those lines. Something a little bit aromatic. In the beginning, maybe sage, a little bit of aromatic notes in the top. Absolutely beautiful. And I realized my last fragrance I left upstairs. Let me go grab it. Okay, fragrance number 15. And the reason why I left it upstairs is because right after I finish filming this video, I'm going to film my April fragrance tray video. And this was in that box because it definitely will be worn in April. As I said before, the last 2 Easters I wore Le Papier for Easter. This year it will be Hake Dyes by the Italian perfumer. His name is Filippo Sorcinelli, and he started off as a young organist, and then he became the official tailor for the Pope, and then he became a perfumer. So now I want to say all the papal vestments and even maybe the drapes, I could be wrong, are imbued with a fragrance that he created called Lops. And it is a spicy incense fragrance. It is beautiful. It happens to be Picky Pat's one of his favorites. But his fragrances are very symbolic, and his bottles are very, very symbolic. This fragrance actually came out right around, it was 2023, right around Easter, because this is the fragrance that is, about the resurrection. This very large stone is supposed to be symbolic of the stone that rolled away from where Jesus was buried. And the scent inside is supposed to mimic the anointed oils that were used at the time. So musk, aloe vera, peach, some other things. And it does remind me of a few other perfumes, but the notes are, there's a little bit of myrrh, but it's not overly myrrh at all. I would say that's in the background. It has aloe vera, it has peach and musk. That's what I get the most, like a peachy musk, and definitely sandalwood. Now the opening, I don't love the opening. There's some sort of, I want to say it's like a solvent that's in here, and it's in other perfumes. I smell it in other perfumes, and the opening kind of smells like nail polish. You have to let that dry off. It doesn't last forever. And then you get into this really pretty, peachy, musky peachy fragrance with some aloe vera and a little splash of this very, very, very subtle incense. It reminds me a lot of a fragrance that used to be my signature scent, Casimir by Chopard. and it has some similarities with Ylang and Gold. Now, do I need it because it's similar to other fragrances I had or have? No, but I have it because of the symbolism, and it will definitely be my Easter scent this year. So that was it, my top 15 picks for spring. Now these fragrances, again, as I mentioned, these are on the higher side. I will have a separate video that are my affordable picks for spring. And if I missed any must-have spring favorites, let us all know in the comments below. Thanks again for sticking around. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my content, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up. And with that, I'll see you on the next one.